Hey everybody, I am inside this gorgeous 2018 Nissan Murano, and I just want to give you a quick walkthrough of what the center stack does here, as well as a few of the buttons. So let's go ahead and fire this up. So we're going to hit our push button ignition, fire up the vehicle, and as soon as it starts, the vehicle is going to give you a nice Nissan symbol, some animation, which looks really good, and it's going to give us some information. So this is a Platinum model. It does have Nissanconnect. It is letting us know that the vehicle can transmit some data, which is awesome. And then it's going to load up the whole system. So everything's loaded up here, and you'll notice you've got buttons across the screen on the bottom, and then you have buttons on the side. I love that Nissan's done this. It's given us the option of either using the touch screen, or if it's really super bumpy and things are shaking around, you can still hit hard buttons because they're a little easier to grab while you're driving by feel instead of looking. Let's go ahead and just go through these hard buttons. So this is the menu button. If I press menu, it's going to bring us to the main menu screen. You can also get there by hitting the center button right here. And now this main menu is really cool because it's got swipe. So kind of like your smartphone, we can just swipe over and there's 3 different menus. This is the middle menu, and the middle menu just shows you a few connections. Now, because this is a 2018, it does have smartphone connection, which is Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, and I do love that feature. It also has a home button for navigation. If you just hit that, it's going to direct us to home. You can set up previous destinations for the navigation and call history, although I don't have the Bluetooth synced in this one, so that's not lit up right now. Some of the other things you'll notice, a little car with some lines coming down towards the hood. That is showing you the Nissanconnect system is active and that it is receiving a signal and able to transmit a signal, as well as the time in the corner there. So that's our menu button right there. If we hit map, it does exactly what you think it would, bring up the map. This button here is our brightness, so we can customize how bright it is, or if you just press it to auto, it will automatically put it as bright or as dark as it needs to. Audio will give us our audio selections. So you can see right there, hits 1 is selected. And then once you're in the audio screen, you can go in and select source, or go into the satellite radio menu, or you can grab any of the presets you want. And that's how that works. Volume, so if I just press this, it's going to turn the audio off. Press that again, it'll be back on. And then this button up here, because it's a Platinum model, has a camera button. What does camera do? Brings up our 365-degree camera. I love it. All around the car we can see, and it has MOD, which are motion detectors in the cameras. Lets us know if anything's moving around the car. And that is out front the car. If we press it again, it'll show you the passenger side, and now I know how much room I have to get in out on the passenger side. Again, I love this feature. If we put it in reverse, those cameras will come up automatically. It'll bring us the backup camera, and then we'll have the option to be all around or just the passenger side. So great for backing up, great for pulling forward, great for everything. Camera system rocks. Then the buttons underneath camera are to select different radio stations or tracks when you are on your audio screen. You do have a CD player there, so that's how that works. And then you have a back button. So if you're into a menu and you want to get back to the previous screen, you just hit back. We have a tune and scroll button, as well as push for sound. So a lot of people don't realize if we press this, we can adjust bass, treble, balance, fade. All we have to do is press that in. Works great. Now let's go into some of the touchscreen menu items here. So let's start with audio. So if we hit the audio button, audio comes up. You can see we have good reception for the satellite radio. And then what happens if we press source? We'll just go ahead and press it, and you can see AM, FM, Sirius XM, CD, USB 1, which is in the front, USB 2, which is in the back, and they say /iPod because they're really Apple compatible. Bluetooth audio, if we want a Bluetooth device to stream some music, and auxiliary. What's auxiliary? Auxiliary is right beside the USB connection up in the front. So we're going to hit my back button, or we can hit back button up there to get back to the previous menu. And then you can see SXM menu. Let's hit that and see what happens. Bam, we can do a bunch of customization. Go into categories, we can customize the channel list, we can go into our favorite artists, our favorite songs, we can go into all kinds of stuff, which is awesome. I love the customized channel list because when I'm going through all my satellite channels, there might be certain channels that I just do not listen to and I don't even want to see come up. And I can select that I don't want to see them just by hitting the button. It'll turn them off, which is great. Going out here, so that's all your satellite radios and how that works and different options. Then you've got all your presets down here. So presets are great. You know, I love the vehicle has a lot of presets. If I press these arrows over, it shows me I have up to 18 presets. You say, oh, what do you need so many presets for? Well, what I like presets for is if I'm on hits 1, and then I don't want to take my hands off the wheel. So if I just toggle up on this switch while in this audio channel, it'll just go through my presets. And then, you know, I can skip commercials or whatever I don't feel like listening to, or I don't like that song, go to the next channel. I don't have to take my hands off the wheel. Love it. Now, a lot of people always ask me too, well, Jason, how do you set those presets? Okay, so let's just go to a channel that's not preset for me. Let's go ahead and we just push and hold. Push and hold for like 2 seconds. Bam, that easy. Works nice and easy. I love interfaces that are streamlined like this. Let's go to our phone connection. So I don't have a phone connected right now, but when we hit that, this is where we would go to connect a phone. I just hit this button, and then once they are connected, everything will be highlighted here. Your text messages, your Bluetooth device, call history, dial, phone book, all that stuff will be brought up in that screen. Info. So this is where it uses the satellite radio, and you have to have a subscription to pull a lot of data for like traffic or stocks or movie listings, all kinds of information. And this is again a swipeable screen, so we can go to a second one. And here we can look into Android Auto or Apple CarPlay and how that works, give you a little more information on that and help you with it if you're not sure how it works. Also some navigation info. So just a bunch of different readouts and info from this screen. Now you saw I hit that button, so I can either swipe or just touch that. Works good. You know, if you want to go into anything, you can see the EcoDrive report. We can just see a bunch of different stuff from here. Again, that's our home menu screen that I showed you that we also have a hard button for. And then we have a map button, which we also have a hard button for. I'm going to go through the map just really quickly here. Lots of people don't know what this is. What is that? This little headset here. Well, this vehicle is equipped with Nissanconnect. So you get a trial membership when you buy the vehicle for 6 months, and it comes with a bunch of services, an app you can download to your phone, a stolen vehicle locator, speed curfew locator, or speed curfew detection that'll send alerts to your phone, you know, be able to unlock and lock things from your phone, just all sorts of different things you can do from the app. And this goes with it, so if I press this, it'll hook me up to an operator, and I can talk to them and ask them questions and get information, tell them I'm lost or do whatever, and they'll give me a hand. So that's what that button does. It works with Nissanconnect. Then map menu. So just like it says, as soon as I pull up map menu, we can go in, we can check out locations, map views, icons, traffic info, all that kind of stuff. And then the 1 kilometer button, so basically lets me zoom in or zoom out. So if I want to zoom in a little bit more, I can. And I find this very responsive. I like the interface here because it doesn't take like 5 minutes of lag to zoom out and zoom back in. I've had navigation systems where I'm a little bit button happy, and I'll just be pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing, and then next thing you know, it's so close that I can't see anything. Or I'll be zooming out until it's literally just Mother Earth and I should have not hit the button so many times. So that's how that works, but I like it. It's quick and it's responsive. Navigation. Okay, so here's what I'm going to walk through because everybody has a hard time with this. I don't know why. This is a pretty good system, but let's go through it. So navigation. If you're putting in a street address, let me show you how we do this. The first thing you want to do, make sure you're on the right province. The next thing you want to do, work from the biggest thing down. So let's work from the province, then let's work from the city. So we're going to go Grand Prairie. And as soon as I start typing, it's going to take away letters because it's kind of smart and it knows there's only certain cities in Alberta. So Grand Prairie. And then when we get to a certain point, we can even just hit list and it's going to bring up, okay, so there's only 4 locations. So I got a Grand Prairie. Now I also have a county of Grand Prairie. This is another big one because a lot of people are like, I live in Grand Prairie, but it's like, no, you live in Whispering Ridge, which is technically the county. But in 15 years from now, come and talk to me because then it will probably be under the Grand Prairie maps. But for now, you're in the counties. You have to select county. So let's just pick Grand Prairie. Then the next thing we're going to do is you can either go street or house number here. Sometimes I like to go street first just because it seems to be a little bit better. So if I push up an address here, 79, it's going to give me some lists of streets. Or if I want to do it the other way, I can pick out a house number. So let's go to this one. 11917. I happen to know where this is. So this is an address in Royal Oaks, really close to us, and it is 105th Street. So we just go to numbers, 105. Bam, gives me 2 options, 105th and 105th A. So we are on 105th Street, and then I can hit OK. And then we got it. Now we can hit start, or we can hit save. Maybe you want to do this before you planned a trip and you want to save it. There, we hit save. Now it's stored in the address book. Now this will just take you to that address whenever you need to. Awesome. So that is your navigation, guys. That's a quick breakdown of how to enter an address. And I always recommend doing that before you leave if you have presence of mind for it, because it's much harder to do on the go when you're digging through things and getting frustrated that you want to get there now. Put it in ahead of time, much easier. So let's hit my back button again. Let's get out of this. So no, we don't want to save this actually. Just go to the home screen. The last button down here is settings. So what does settings do? Well, it brings us to a bunch of options. We can go into Bluetooth. We can see if we've got any connected devices. We can go to the navigation screen. We can go into address book, map views, map icons. In this settings screen, it does give you a few more things than the map menu. So some people, if they're looking for certain things, it is in the settings navigation menu, okay? So that's where you go if you really want to get in deep into the settings for your navigation. Let's get back out of there. So we have a display setting where we can set up the brightness contrast, which we could all do from that button too. Remember, we can just change the display with that sun and moon button, but what we can't do from that button is background color. So I can just change it from black to white just by hitting this, which is kind of nice. And then we get back out of here. And we'll go down to our clock settings. So this is where you set the clock for the vehicle. We can set 24-hour format, 12-hour format, offset the hours and the minutes, turn on daylight savings time, or we can pick a time zone manually. I'm letting the GPS figure it out at this moment, so it's auto, which is nice because we're in mountain time, and if I drove to BC, got over the border, if it happens to be during the summer, it'll switch me to Pacific. Awesome, I don't have to worry about adjusting that. Let's go back out of here. So the phone button's not highlighted because I do not have a phone connected right now, but the sound button is. And I told you before, you can press this to go into change your autistic levels and stuff. Sorry, not autistic, acoustics. So you can just go in there, or you can get into this, which is one more depth. It gives you all the same features, but you can visually see them a little clearer, and the speed sensitive volume's turned on. What does that do? If the vehicle goes faster and the engine gets louder, it will compensate with the volume of the stereo to kind of keep up with the road noise. Great. Back down, volume and beeps. So this is where you can go in and set up your audio volume, your guidance volume, ringtones, any incoming calls, or Siri if she's talking to you, outgoing calls, the Nissanconnect services voice system. All these are for your volumes and to control any of them. Now you can control a lot of these if the navigation comes on and she's just screaming at you. If you just turn down the volume, it'll instantly readjust her volume levels. You don't have to go into these deep menus, but if you want to, you can. That's what they're there for. Let's get out of here. Edit home menu. So we can go into this, and now I can change the apps, the icons, if you will, on my home menu. Maybe I don't like having the home navigation button there. I can take it off. I can add others. We can do things. So just kind of like your smartphone is, this is where you go to add and delete all those app looking buttons. Let's get back out of there. Now you can see there's 2 dots here. Anytime there's multiple dots, it means this screen has a next screen, which we can either hit that or swipe. Now you can see information on Nissanconnect services. We can go in there and see all the information, how it's transmitting, what it's sharing, the unit ID, set some default settings if we want. Go back out, language and units. So if you accidentally turn it to Espanol or French, this is where you can go in and maybe change that. Or you can select metric or imperial units. Android Auto settings and Apple CarPlay settings. So what turns on what when you plug in your USB connection with the phone, if you have an Android or an Apple CarPlay. And then voice recognition. So we can go in here and you can get settings, change settings for your audio device, or you can minimize the voice feedback. So we can go in and we can just make some setting adjustments for the voice recognition system. So that is a quick and dirty, although almost 15-minute video on how the interface works. Just hopefully that helps you so you don't have to come by your local dealer and check it out. If you did like that interface and thought, God, that looks gorgeous, I should get myself one of those, feel free to contact me, Jason Gillette, Grand Prix Nissan. Love to give you a hand. All right, have a great day, everyone.